Welcome to Saugeen EDC, the local edge, where we're working in partnership for our community's future. I'm your host, Rose Austin. Join me as we talk with the people, partners, and businesses driving growth and innovation across our region. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 7, our Municipal Spotlight, Growing Our Communities. I'm your host, Rose Austin, and I am joined by two very special guests today, two economic development officers, and I will introduce each of them. First, we have April Marshall, and April is the Economic Development Manager for the town of Hanover. She leads initiatives that strengthen local businesses, attract investment, and enhance quality of life through cultural development and downtown vitality. Her work spans business retention and expansion, the community improvement program, and creative data-informed marketing that showcases Hanover's strengths, among other initiatives. Through partnerships with educators, employers, neighboring municipalities, and community organizations, she advances workforce readiness and champions entrepreneurship. A certified economic developer, April is known for collaborative leadership and practical solutions that turn strategy into measurable impact for Hanover and the region. Welcome, April.
Thanks, Rose. Thanks for having me.
I'm also joined by Christine Brandt, and Christine is a community development coordinator for the Municipality of Brockton, where she supports economic development initiatives through business engagement, marketing, communications, and community building efforts. Prior to joining Brockton, she served as manager of the Walkerton Business Improvement Area, working closely with local businesses and community partners to strengthen the downtown core and support economic growth. A graduate of Wilfrid Laurier University with a Bachelor of Arts in Communication Studies, Christine is passionate about fostering vibrant, connected communities. She is actively involved in several local organizations and charitable initiatives, including Walkerton Homecoming, the International Plowing Match, Connect Club, and physician recruitment. Her contributions to the region have been recognized through the Huron Bruce Remarkable Citizen Award. Welcome, Christine.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So what we're going to talk about today is our municipalities, specifically the Municipality of Brockton and the town of Hanover, and how these two wonderful ladies as economic development officers are growing our communities. So I'm going to start with a couple of questions just to set the stage, so to speak. And I'm just going to ask you both, what makes your municipality unique from a business and investment position?
So I think what makes Hanover unique is that we're this hub for services surrounded by a rural landscape. Hanover does pride itself on being very progressive and forward thinking. So we're really striving to create that environment that businesses want to be a part of, and that people want to come to access shopping and services and be home to employment and jobs, as well as living here. So we're trying to balance all of those things, and I think that does create that unique position for Hanover, just because we are able to attract many people from this area to come here, work, play.
Wonderful.
That kind of idea.
You do a great job of it, too. And Christine, what makes Municipality of Brockton unique from a business and investment perspective?
Yeah, so Brockton is well known for Walkerton's downtown core, which is a bit of a boutique downtown, if you will. We don't see a lot of chain stores in our downtown. A lot of unique individual shopping opportunities there. So Walkerton is quite a draw for people looking to, shop or dine in a bit of a different setting. But we also take a collaborative approach to economic development as a whole, where we work with partners such as Saugeen Economic Development, Bruce County. We're establishing some really strong connections with local developers as we look to grow our commercial and industrial areas. Land in our East Ridge Business Park is consistently being sold to newcomers who are, either expanding their business into Brockton or bringing their business to Brockton. So we just really pride ourselves on being a warm, welcoming community.
Wonderful. Question for both of you. How would you describe the current economic climate in your community right now?
Well, that's a great question, because I feel the economic climate is very, very strong in Hanover. But having said that, the influence of the economy as a whole through our province, our country, our world, I would say I do see it having a creeping effect locally. Um, so, I think, businesses aren't adverse to that. We've had other situations in the past that, they've had to pivot and come up with new plans. But at the same time, as people like are holding their dollars a little bit closer these days, you can't help but see that effect on our economy. So, but I think as economic developers, that's our opportunity. We're able to find opportunities. We're able to create tools to support investment and support our businesses. So it also presents that opportunity to get creative as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. And Christine,
Yeah,
what do you
I
see?
echo a lot of April's statements here. The economy and labor shortages are probably the biggest obstacles that Brockton is facing, which I'm sure is not unique to many rural communities in southwestern Ontario. So those are some challenges that we're trying to work through. Again, we're very fortunate. We don't have a lot of vacancies within our existing commercial buildings. We are trying to work with developers to create more spaces that new businesses can rent because we are seeing a demand, especially for light manufacturing, that kind of thing. We have people that want to come to Brockton but don't necessarily want to purchase land and put up their own building. So trying to create some spaces that are ready for them. And we're also seeing some revitalization happening in some of our smaller communities. So the thriving metropolis of Cargill is currently undergoing some downtown beautification projects, and so that's very exciting. Seeing some of those smaller hamlets, really get a footing under them, and seeing their downtowns really flourish is exciting.
So, Christine, carrying on with that thought, how does Brockton position itself competitively against large and urban centers?
So our draw is, well, kind of twofold. I did mention how we do take a collaborative approach. So we do work with pretty strongly with Bruce County as they work to attract specifically, suppliers for Bruce Power. Not everybody wants to be along the Lake Huron shoreline, either for affordability reasons or space reasons, that kind of thing. So we do work with the county to try to draw some of those suppliers inland to where there might be more land available or more affordable land. We also have our CIP program that supports investment. We have some grants available to businesses, things like that. And we regularly promote our business community through marketing initiatives and then bigger community events such as our Summer Street Fest in July and our hometown Christmas market in December.
Wonderful. Busy.
It is busy.
Right. April, where is your municipality focusing its energy right now? Is it in downtown revitalization? Is it in industrial investment or attraction? Where are you looking at targeting? What areas?
Well, this is a very exciting time for Hanover. We are definitely forward thinking. This year especially, we are laying the groundwork and we're listening to make future plans. So one thing is our prosperity lands. So Hanover was successful in working with our neighboring municipality of West Grey to expand our boundaries so that we will have enough developable land to meet our growth projections for the next 25 years. So that's a really exciting opportunity for us. So we're investing right now into, all the planning that goes behind that and how we will service those lands moving forward. Secondly, just completed a business retention and expansion study. So we interviewed 61 businesses, July to October 2025, to hear about, what's working for them, what isn't working, where there's opportunities for the municipality to support or the community as a whole. But we did action that BRD a little bit further than I think maybe it has been done traditionally. So what we did was we took the results of it, and then we picked out the key themes, and then we went back to our business groups. We went back to the respondents, other members of our business community, working with our Economic Tourism Cultural Development Advisory Committee and the Hanover Chamber of Commerce, to then really drill down. Okay, this is what we heard. This is what some of the challenges we've heard. Around housing, workforce, finding adequate land, those kind of things. This is what we heard. How would you like us to action this? Do you want some quick wins? Do you want, bigger ideas with more planning? What does that look like? So we were able to get more information from those community partners, and we've developed a business retention expansion action roadmap so that we can really show how we have listened to our business community, and we're advancing actions to support their needs. So that was just approved by council, so we'll be starting to implement that. And then yes, downtown, we are just finishing our downtown plan, which is very action oriented. We've heard our community. I say this jokingly, but we're always getting compared to Walkerton, and I'm very proud of Walkerton is a beautiful, beautiful downtown, and you're noted for that, and here I have the job now. It's like, how do we get to be like Walkerton downtown? So, we got to build on what makes us strong and unique. We don't want to be exactly the same, because that's how a community gets successful. But we also recognize there's opportunity to enhance our downtown. So again, listening to our community, listening to the businesses, and creating those actions so that, to create that roadmap on how we get there.
Sure. No, that's great. And the businesses are open to quick fixes or more of a long-term planning?
They wanted a mix through the BRD. Yeah. So some of the quick wins was more about, stronger collaboration, opportunities for us to promote businesses, like by updating our imagery and, doing business spotlights and things like that. But then again, those longer term solutions, we need to look at housing. We need to look at our workforce. Those are some of those bigger things that, we definitely need time, and we can't do it by ourselves. So as Christine had mentioned, I really value collaboration within our region. We're stronger when we work together. We all have pretty much the same issues, so we're just trying to find those opportunities. How do we build the region? We can't do it all, and we don't want to duplicate what others are doing. Right. So by creating this roadmap, I'm hoping that, SEDC can look at it too, right? And then we can identify, well, this is what SEDC is doing around succession planning, so we're not going to duplicate that. We're going to promote that, and we're going to work with you to enhance that.
Right. Oh, that's great. Cooperative regionalism, right?
Yes.
That was one of my mentors tagged that phrase, and I'll never forget it. So I use it a lot. So Christine, you mentioned the community improvement plan, right? So the CIP. I know most municipalities and even counties have CIPs. So can you tell us a little bit about yours? And then April, I'll ask you the same thing and how it works. And if you have any success stories that you feel you can share, please do so.
Thank you. So Brockton has had a CIP for quite some time. It's been updated twice. The most recent update was just completed at the very end of 2025. So the current document that we're working with is quite new, being approved by council just a few months ago. So the CIP obviously serves several functions in a community, but pertaining specifically to our businesses, of course, the section they're most interested in are the grants that we have available. There's a couple of loan options in there as well, and like a TIF for developers, but specifically to kind of those, small to medium-sized businesses. They're interested in facade grants, signage grants, accessibility grants, ways that they can improve their business for the customer experience with a relatively short turnaround. So I would say, the biggest success of our CIP has been the utilization of those grant programs. So when I started working with Brockton, there were budgeted funds every year that were going unspent. And simply through talking with our business owners, making sure that they're aware of what's available, we maxed out the budget last year. We open the application period on February 1st every year to match the Spruce the Bruce grant launch, because people can apply to both for the same project. So we launched our grant application period February 1st, and by March 1st, our entire budget had been exhausted. So we went back to council and we said, can we have some more money, please? This program is so popular. And, part of the reason I think this particular calendar year is because Brockton is hosting Walkerton Homecoming 2026. And Bruce County is the site of the International Plowing Match happening just west of Walkerton. So we're going to have an influx of visitors this calendar year that we wouldn't normally see. And so a lot of business owners are aware of that. If they were looking to spend money on their facade, for example, this is the year that they want to do it. So we were successful in getting a second allotment of funds to support the CIP grants. And within 4 weeks, we were exhausted again. So, it's not great to be out of money so early in the year, but it is wonderful to see, so many projects being supported.
Right. No, that's wonderful. And April, your CIP program.
Yeah, so that is definitely one of our greatest attraction tools or business support tools. We too see a lot of success with the facade building improvement and signage grant, especially with our downtown properties. But we're also getting great uptake with our startup leasehold improvement grant, because that's one of the grant streams that actually supports improvements within the building. Most of the other ones are facing the outside.
Right.
And that's a really good opportunity for, again, to support those new businesses that are looking to start in our community. So yeah, we have very many streams: accessibility, other, landscaping and parking lot improvements, building permits, grants to support secondary suites and things of that nature. But as far as supporting housing development, or is the tax increment equivalent grant, or the TEAG, that's where we have seen a lot of success, and we have kind of led in the Grey County in that regard. So what we've done is we've worked with those developers to do projections on what their tax increase will look like based off the work that they're planning on doing. And the projects that we've supported to date are those multi-res or apartment buildings. So we have approved 3 applications to increase housing supply. And then that tax increment grant essentially phases in that increase in their taxes over 5 years, just lessening the percentage amount every year until they start paying the full amount. So that's not money that necessarily directly comes out of the municipality's budget, right? It's money we haven't seen yet.
Right.
So it's a little bit easier, I think, for people to maybe wrap their minds around a little bit. That isn't costing us anything. So we do that for the municipal portion, but then I'm able to work with Grey County, and then they are working with us to help do that the same for the county portion of the taxes too. So that's how we're working together with that. And, in the past too, Grey County has supported by investing in the funding to help support that. So we're quietly, promoting that come back again, because that is great assistance. But I will echo your comments. Our applications this year are very strong. And I'm getting to that point too, that I maybe have to go ask for some additional funds, because, we're hearing it through our downtown plan too. And, we want to show this work being done, and this is our greatest tool to do that. So as we're doing the downtown planning and we hear through the BRNE, it's really reinforced for me that CIP is the strongest tool that we have.
Yeah. And just to extend the CIP talk just a little bit, SEDC will partner with both
Yes.
Brockton and the town of Hanover and any other municipality within our catchment area. And if you put in an application to your community for a CIP grant and it's approved for whatever reason, you're automatically approved through us for a loan for the same amount or more, depending on the project, at a very low interest rate. So we partner with you on that, and that's been beneficial, I know, to a lot of people. So we're happy to partner with you on that, with both of you, with all the other municipalities in our catchment area. So besides the financial supports that your municipalities have, like the grant programs, the tax increments, what other supports does your municipality have for those that are moving to the area, be it for newcomers, or be it for startup businesses, or be it for people just looking, is this a community that I'd like to move to? What other supports do you have that you can offer to those types of individuals?
Mind if I go first?
Sure.
Okay. Well, first of all, I think we're the strongest connectors. If we can't do it, we know who can, and we can connect those businesses to that. Again, that's a whole regional approach, right? And showing how strong we are together. There's that, but also just creating other initiatives and programs to support. So, for instance, Hanover, we do something, our retention and attractions campaign is called HIP, Hanover's Innovative People Program. So we have 4 streams under that, and one of them is entrepreneurship. So we have a website that's dedicated to resources, so a business can easily look and see, what networks are available in the region, what business supports are available and things like that. It's all in one spot for them to hopefully make that easier for them. But we also launched a business pitch competition in 2024, and we're bringing it back again in 2026 here. We're going to run it every other year. Mm-hmm. But we coordinate prizing, and we do we get judges together, and we create that whole pitch competition idea, kind of loosely based on that Dragon's Den style type event. We don't do it in front of an audience, but again, we just want to show people thinking about starting up. We want to show them that we support them, but also connect them to what those resources are. So that's one example of another initiative that we do. But again, I just think it's just making us aware that we're here. Mm-hmm. We want to see them succeed. We don't want to put up those barriers. So it's just finding different initiatives and incentives that we can put into place.
Wonderful. Wonderful. In the municipality of Brockton, Christine.
Yeah, again, we pride ourselves on being like a warm, welcoming place for newcomers, whether you're an entrepreneur, seasoned business owner, or just a resident, who's moving to the area and they want to pick, a small community to settle in. So, we have so many amenities that draw people to town, right? They might come here for work, but then of course you want to keep them. You want them to enjoy their lifestyle. You want them to move their family here and not just, go back and forth to the mm-hmm. city on the weekends. So we really try to play up the lifestyle that can be offered here. And whether you're in Hanover or Brockton, or, one of our hamlets like Cargill, Chepstow, Elmwood, all of these communities kind of have their own sense of, belonging, their own rural feel to them that's similar, but they're all different as well. Mm-hmm. So by offering just a wide range of like recreational programs and things that our natural assets offer, the Saugeen River is huge for both Hanover and Brockton. Mm-hmm. People come here for fishing and for paddling and things like that. So by making those experiences, fun and memorable for people, we think, it's one thing to draw them to the community one time. It's another thing to keep them here. Right. So that's what we like to focus on.
Good. For leveraging culture as an economic driver. That's something else. As you're mentioning all these things, I'm like, yes, it's about that enhancement of quality of life, right? So it's bringing our community members together in arts, culture, and heritage, and supporting events and things of that nature. Because as you stated, if they're visiting or if they have things to do, like we want them to know that you can build your life here, that there are things to do. So,
Yeah.
but it takes a community, right? So
Absolutely.
it's again, just bringing everyone together for us
Absolutely.
to work together. Yeah.
Question for both of you. What upcoming opportunities or developments within your community are you really excited about right now?
Thanks, Rose. There's a few things that we have going on that might be slightly under the wire, or they might be out there in the public realm already. But Brockton was successful in securing just over $3 million under the Housing Accelerator Fund. So that's from the federal government. And we are working hard to ensure that what's called the missing middle gets filled in. So it's those houses that people want to rent or own that are kind of in that middle, attainable, affordable category. So it's not low income housing, and it's not, dual income, no kids housing. It's in that middle portion. So we're working to bring 400 housing units online within 3 years. So it's quite a
Large feat.
It is. It is. It's a challenge we're up to. We are in year 2 right now, and we're nearing the halfway point. So we've had some apartment buildings go up in our Eastridge Business Park. We've signed a deal with the County of Bruce. They're doing a subdivision in there as well. And we have some other developers doing some infill, 8 or 10 townhouses here and there. So we're excited to see some of those projects come online in terms of housing. We know we have some labor shortages in the area, and having housing for people is so critical because the jobs are here, good paying jobs for people. But of course, we need places for them to live. So
It's always that catch-22, right?
Yeah.
You have to have both things happening at the same time.
Exactly. So I touched on our Eastridge Business Park, which is municipal land that we have for sale to investors and developers. We're seeing a lot of foundations in the ground right now. So the UNA 1059, the Laborers Union, is currently building a training center in our Eastridge Park. Saugeen Hospice will be breaking ground there in July. Of course, our soccer field is up and running. We got the concession stand up last year. There's some EV chargers there. So that's a great recreational field that kind of separates the housing side of the park from the business industrial side of the park. And then as you can see, as you come into town from our east end there, we have a McDonald's fast food restaurant under construction right now with a gas station, which is desperately needed at that end of town. So we have lots of exciting things happening on the development side.
Great. Wonderful. And April, what's Hanover doing?
Yeah. Well, I think just going back, I think it was to the first question, expanding our boundaries has been a major milestone for Hanover. If I'm being completely honest, we didn't have land that I could really market before. We were it was hard because we'd have inquiries and we wouldn't have that land supply or that building supply that we could really offer. So the boundary adjustment is big. It's been it has been worked on for probably 40 years. Like I'm not even exaggerating, right? So for this to happen now, now it's time, that we can really start to plan for that growth, and that's an exciting time. But other than that, just going back to our tax increment equivalent grant and those multi-residential development, we have a beautiful new a multi-res apartment at the corner of 7th Ave and 10th Street in Hanover, downtown Hanover, that just completed, underground parking, 109 units. So that's really exciting for our downtown to get people living here, and that's going to support our business community as well. There's a couple other multi-res projects that are they have their shovels in the ground now. So that's exciting to see. And we continue to welcome new businesses coming, and it's an exciting opportunity that we regularly have, that we're going and doing grand opening ceremonies, and the mayor's coming to recognize those businesses. So lots of growth in the business side of things.
Wonderful. You both touched on labor shortages and workforce development. So I'm just kind of wondering what challenges, like most communities face these challenges. I think it's an issue all across the board, particularly in our area, and particularly with you, Christine, in Brockton. due to Bruce Power. A lot of it's due to Bruce Power, but not just Bruce Power. There's a growth in a lot of different industries. So people will come to work and then they'll find a job somewhere else. And so we have workforce, we have that attraction and that retention, which is so critical to maintaining growth in your municipality. So what challenge or what are you doing to address those challenges that you have in your communities?
Well, I think this is a good opportunity to talk about Saugeen Connects. So that is our collaboration with SCDC, Hanover, Brockton, South Bruce, Wellington North, and the town of Minto. So, that's over 3 counties, 7 municipalities. So workforce is one of our pillars. So that collaboration opportunity is really good because like we're talking about, it's really hard for individual communities or individual groups to really tackle this themselves. So, I think it's about connecting with employers, seeing, learning about what they're experiencing, where there's opportunities for us to assist them, whether that be planning job fairs or, promoting what those job opportunities are, maybe providing them with some training around attraction and retention too. Those are the type of opportunities that we really have to look at. But then there's also those other moving pieces as far as housing and transportation. And, there's just so much happening all around this issue that, no magic solution, but we're putting our best efforts forward. But there's also the training side of things. And I'll just touch on in Hanover, we're very fortunate now to have Elephant Thoughts have expanded to Hanover and are utilizing the old Launchpad facility at 612 10th Street. There's a kitchen in there, wood shop, welding bays. So they're providing that training then to enhance our workforce at that skill development piece. And that's a great opportunity for us and for businesses to leverage that so that we can really start to build up the workforce in the areas that we've identified through training.
That's great. That's great. And Christine, you mentioned Liuna building a training center there. So is that one way that Brockton is addressing the workforce?
Yeah, absolutely. So Local 1059 is already active in this area, but they're headquartered in London. And they recognize that so many of their union members live and work in this area, whether those are permanent jobs or contract positions. So we're very fortunate that they chose Walkerton, for this training facility. And we're really hoping that that helps fill some of the gap. I echo a lot of what April said. Our involvement with, Saugeen Connects and those other partner organizations has been really helpful to Brockton. Same thing, like we want to offer training to employers to make them, attractive employers for new employees. And then the other piece that Brockton does every year is a FAM tour. So we partner with the County of Bruce on that. They have a strong relationship with the Newcomers Center in Peel, and frequently bring newcomers to Canada up on tours of Bruce County. They go through multiple communities. They get to meet with employers while they're here. Usually the mayor attends as well and talks a little bit about the municipality as a whole, what life might be like if they were to relocate here. And those tours have actually led to several success stories. We have people living and working in Brockton as a result of those fan tours. So
that's a great segue. My next question to you is going to be, are you seeing an influx of people moving from the urban centers into your community?
We are less so now than what we saw during COVID, because of course there was a mad exodus out of the cities. During COVID, people discovered remote work was a real thing that employers would support. And lots of communities in our area, grew as a result of that. But yeah, newcomers to Canada specifically, I think, are discovering that, there are some barriers for sure. April mentioned transportation being one. We do have some barriers with welcoming newcomers to Canada, but we have seen, several families settle in Brockton and find that it's a warm, welcoming place. Their kids are in school. They're maybe attending, English classes, and they're working hard to build a life for their family here. So we're really pleased to see that.
Yeah, it's wonderful. April, younger entrepreneurs or families that are looking for specific things today. Whatever it could be. It could be amenities. It could be affordable housing, better jobs. What are they looking for, in your opinion, that you feel the municipalities need to adapt to address those issues? Or how do the municipalities need to adapt to not only attract but retain those people?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it goes back to that whole quality of life piece. There's one thing to find your career here and adapt that way. But it's also, what are you going to do after 5 o'clock or after your job's done? So it's really promoting that culture and that quality of life side of things, having their opportunity for people to get connected. When you ask me that, I think about, being a welcoming community and what that means. We're leveraging the Western Ontario Ordnance Caucus newcomer readiness assessment tool so that we can, see how welcoming our communities are and where there's opportunities for improvement. But it's all about, I think, just putting those supports in place. Like, I'm thinking too about our HIP entrepreneur business pitch competition. We had 8 applicants, and of those 8, 3 of them were newcomers looking to start a business here. And that's what I see. I see the newcomers coming as they're entrepreneurial, right? So like, how do you support them and grow that? But as far as attracting younger families and that quality of life, it's also really showcasing what careers are here. Because I think rural communities, we really face the challenge of people thinking or having a perception that there's not opportunity here. So our job is to really showcase there is opportunity here. I also just worked with local high school students, just trying to put a focus back on our youth retention as well. Like, again, youth, our greatest opportunity is for the people that already live here, to the young people to build their life here. So we want them to go have their experiences, but we want them to know that they can come home and start their life here too. So through our HIP campaign, we just did the HIP Apprentice Municipal Youth Challenge too. So I just did a little friendly competition with high school students so that they could help us address some of our municipal challenges, have a voice, and we did some awards and we brought them to council and everything. But something that I learned through that process as well was when I was meeting with the groups, they're like, oh, Hanover has no jobs, or Hanover doesn't have this or doesn't have that. And I'm like, but actually we do, So I tried to leverage that opportunity to educate them on what we have, as far as those events and those job opportunities. But it's also the employers really promoting, if it's a manufacturer, it doesn't mean that there's only labor jobs in that manufacturing facility. There's also engineers, and there's graphic, there's other elements to research and development and things like that. So as a community, it's like, how do we support that and really build out what we have to offer and where there is opportunity?
Right. Great. Question for both of you. If you could change one provincial or one federal policy tomorrow to help your municipality grow, what would it be?
Oh my goodness, that's a big question.
Yes, it is.
I don't have a easy short answer. I would say that it would revolve around funding. A lot of the downloading, so to speak, of things that used to be covered by the federal government or at the provincial level, that have been downloaded to municipalities over years. In a lot of situations, those things are really quite unfair. So the courthouse in Walkerton, comes to mind right away. Walkerton residents of Brockton have been paying the they have the tax burden of supporting that courthouse in terms of prisoner transportation costs as they have to travel between Penetanguishene and the courthouse. So there's a lot of fees that come with that. And just simply because the courthouse is located in our municipality, Brockton residents have to pay that cost. And meanwhile, the courthouse supports, such a wide regional area. So I think my answer would be having the province take back some of those responsibilities that they've downloaded to the municipalities, because then that would free up some of our budgets then to work on other projects.
Great. April.
Yeah, I totally echo that. Because we also see through funding as well, maybe some urban centers are favored because they have a higher population. But we need to recognize rural communities need equal opportunity, and we might not be hitting as many people per se, and that per capita area, but the need is there. It is that financial strain. We're working with small tax bases and trying to accomplish a lot, especially around housing. We're often looked to as a municipality like that we should be developing the housing and that we should be finding these solutions. And that's not within our capacity. So we really do need higher government levels to really lead that and create those supports on lower levels that we can really complement each other and get some stuff done. But there's also that immigration piece, we see post-secondary schools struggling right now. We see our workforce, maybe not finding as the people that they need. Our communities are really dependent on immigration to grow, right? So, that's very political right now. I acknowledge that as well. But I think, we're seeing the effects of that immigration being scaled back. So,
Right.
Yeah, there may be another look at that would benefit some of our.
I know I put you both on the spot with that question, but it is a big question, right?
Mhm.
And municipalities do have to look at where else can we go? How can we advocate on our own behalf to the province and to the feds, to take, as you said, Christine, to take some of that downloading back and put it back onto the province, and then the province put it back onto the feds, right? Because we are small, we are rural, the population is smaller than the urban centers, so the tax base is, much less. And we have aging infrastructure as well, things that have to be addressed, and some of it very quickly. And so that puts a lot of burden on the people who live here. I know I put you on the spot, but I appreciate both your answers. And I know you've both talked about, and I have too, about cooperative regionalism and collaboration. So I just want to put it out there. Do you feel that municipalities are competing against each other for investment, or are they collaborating more than people actually realize?
Do you want to go?
I believe we're collaborating more than people realize, because investors, developers, entrepreneurs, they don't see these invisible geographical lines that divide, communities. Those lines exist on a map, but otherwise they're meaningless. So I think when someone's coming to this area and they're thinking about, a new development, they're looking at the region as a whole. How can this area support the business that they want to open? What's the workforce like? What's the highway system like between here and where their suppliers might exist? So they're looking at all the options. And certainly in Brockton, of course, every municipality wants them to ultimately decide on their community. That's the goal, right? That's our job. But certainly I believe across Bruce and Grey counties that economic development officers, work together to promote the region as a whole, because, if Hanover wins and lands, a huge developer who's going to, open a facility that's going to employ 100 people, I'm sure some of those people are going to live in Brockton.
Right.
So, and vice versa.
It's that ripple effect, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I echo what you say, Christine. I'm a big advocate for collaboration. I don't think we should be competing against each other. It doesn't benefit any of us because, like you said, we're all moving within this region, whether it be for job, between job, where we live, where we shop, where we're participating in activities. Like I can tell you, you know, I'm all over several communities in our region doing various things. And again, if we all build on what makes us unique and we provide those opportunities, the right fits are going to happen and we're all going to prosper for it.
Saugeen Connects is a great example of that. I mean, it's 5 municipalities as well as Saugeen Economic Development working together to address specific issues, targeting specific challenges within our communities and coming together to address those. And, the big picture will work for all of them, but little components of it may work better in one municipality than another.
Mm-hmm.
But we're all sharing the same ideas. We're all working together to make it better, to make it work, regardless of who the end benefactor is, right? And I think that works very well for us.
If I could just build on that for a second, Rose, regarding the Saugeen Connect, one of the biggest takeaways for me from Brockton belonging to that group is the relationships that I'm developing with the other economic development professionals within that group. Because sometimes, I have a problem that perhaps April or, the town of Minto, another organization, has faced in the not so distant past. Maybe it's like, well, we had this 5 years ago and here's what we did. And this worked for us or it didn't work for us. And maybe, you could try that or stay away from that.
Right.
So just having those other professionals doing the same job in their community that, we can call on, for support has been really, really helpful.
Right. And what do we always say? Rob and duplicate?
Yes.
Yeah. So that works.
But I think this is a really good opportunity too to talk about the student startup program
Mhm.
because that's what Saugeen Connects. This is probably our most popular initiative that we do, and we're supporting young people trying entrepreneurship, and they are potentially our next business owners in our community. And we don't know, they're going to high school in one of our communities now, but they're living in another one, and then they might start their business in another one outside of that. So, and I think we already start to see that right now because we always have this conversation, right, about where they live and where they go to school and all that stuff. But we see the opportunity to collaborate on that initiative, invest in our youth together, because we're able to provide them this great opportunity that we probably wouldn't be able to do on our own.
No,
So,
absolutely
yeah.
not. No, it is that collaborative partnership that makes that work. 50 students,
Yes.
50 students. Like one municipality would not be able to fund that type of training and or that investment in those 50 students. So
And
the
that's 50 a
collaboration.
year.
50 a year. Yes.
And
Yes.
we're,
Absolutely.
We're over 300.
Oh,
all
yes.
together.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I had a question for both of you. What's a project or an opportunity that you wish moved faster?
That move faster.
Mm-hmm.
All of them.
Yeah.
All of them.
Well, that's what's interesting to me because we are juggling a lot of balls, in economic development, and I struggle with this all the time, like where to focus my attention for these best results, but seeing the value in everything. So, I've started to try to forgive myself a little bit when I don't think things are moving fast because, we're still accountable to the public too at the end of the day and public funds. So, sometimes things take a little bit longer, but maybe that's okay because, we have to be transparent. We have to listen to the community. It's not like private business where we can just take an idea and just implement it, So I'm starting to really recognize the value in that process and being patient through it.
Mhm.
So, yeah, of course, things maybe do take a lot longer, especially around development and things like that. Like you think this next development's coming, they have their planning application in, and then for whatever reason, things on their end might have stalled that. So it takes a little bit longer, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, my answer is very similar. Certainly construction, I wish that moved faster. But even the whole period leading up to construction, before, somebody new ever breaks ground in our communities, whether it's on a new business, a facility of some sort, a housing start, there's so much that goes on in the background to get all of the necessary approvals in place before construction can begin. So if the construction phase seems really long, put it on the back end with staff who have been talking about this project for months and sometimes years before the public's even aware of it. So and the other one I will mention, because Brockton is in the throes of it now, is our county bridge. So the bridge that crosses the Saugeen River and enters our downtown core seems to be a project that has been dragging, and we have taken a lot of flack from the public for this bridge project and the length of time it's taken to get those necessary repairs completed. So not to pass the buck, but that is a county bridge. So it's not a municipal project at all. The county is working on that one. And the reason it's taken so long is because they are doing one half of the bridge at a time, rather than close the entire bridge and reroute traffic around, which frankly would have been quite devastating for the businesses that are in downtown Walkerton. The county instead has done, one side at a time, which has kept one lane open. So yes, there are delays, and yes, it's been frustrating, and nobody is enjoying this project. But the end is in sight. We're supposed to be done around the end of July, and then we're going to have this beautiful brand new bridge open. And hopefully the last 2 years is quickly forgotten.
Once it opens, it will be.
Yeah.
I know that you both juggle so many different things. As economic development officers, and you've both mentioned that you have a lot on your plate. You work with your planning department, you work with your building department, you work with your councils. You try to market your community to investors, to entrepreneurs, to newcomers. You work with workforce development, skills training, youth retention. It's everything and anything that your municipality needs seems to fall, or somewhat fall, on the shoulders of the economic development officers, right? I guess that's your job. You get paid the big bucks for that. So what keeps you up at night as an economic development officer?
Okay, so I feel like I really base my work plans on our strategic direction. I see a lot of value in that, because I know that's our way of, we're building those strategic plans based off the community input, like it's grassroots, right? We're not just setting a direction and asking everyone to follow us. We're really responding. So I'm tailoring my work plans towards that. I think when I get a little frustrated, or what keeps me up at night, is maybe when we start to sway from those plans, because there might be some public input to the contrary at that time for whatever reason, right? We often also deal with, what they call NIMBYism, like not in the backyard. I can think of a few scenarios where we have plans in place. We're as staff, we're putting work into that, getting that done. And then it can just be a little disheartening if plans are changed, or the pendulum swings the other way for whatever reason, right? So, that's kind of where my frustration lies, but it's also part of the process, and I understand that as well.
Right.
So many things keep me up at night, specifically job related though. So I live in the municipality where I work. That is home for me. It's where I'm raising my family. We've put down roots here. So I love so many things about Brockton. And I am really passionate. Even if I wasn't in this job, I would still be, volunteering my time to try to make this community a better place for everybody. So the things that keep me up at night, honestly, they revolve around budget for a lot of the time. We don't have a endless budget of funds that we can call on. So we're trying to accomplish a lot of different projects with the budget that we have, given to us every year. So it's, my thoughts are always, how can I make every dollar count? Nobody wants to look frivolous with taxpayers' money. Nobody wants to waste their budget on a project that flops, right? So we can't be all things to all people, but you do want, a lot of your ideas to be successful, right?
Absolutely.
You want people to embrace it. You want them to be excited about your, streetscape beautification pieces, new furniture downtown, whatever the case may be. You want it to be well received. You want people to, appreciate the efforts that are being made and to recognize that, as April said, we're following a strategic plan and we are working towards, a common end goal here. So we're not just, flying by the seat of our pants, over here doing something, over here doing something. There is a big picture and all these projects connect. So just trying to ensure that we have the budget to get everything done in the year as council has prioritized.
Right.
If I could I think that's an issue too, is that, economic development is soft. Like it's not tangible as maybe some of the other investments that the municipality makes, right? Like it's not like a road or a bridge, but you can see the money that has been put into it. Or you see that it being completed, right? So, again, that kind of goes back to my earlier point too, is just about if priorities are changing, because maybe there is a project like that is then taking some precedent over the work that we're doing or whatever that may be. But I think also too is like you just touched on it too about, when we're implementing some of this stuff, and maybe we're not getting the feedback from the community we thought we would get, that can be really disheartening too. Just when you're putting a lot of pride and passion into your work and you think something's very successful, but then maybe you're then hearing from the public that don't like it, right?
Right.
So,
right.
yeah.
Yes. Well, you can't be everything to everyone.
That's
and
right.
Not every project is going to satisfy every person. So you're always going to have some negative feedback. But hopefully it's little
Yes.
and not that impactful. The episode before this, we talked about what questions business owners or new entrepreneurs, businesses that are looking to move to your community, what are the most popular questions that you face from those people? So what I'd like to ask you both is, what advice would you give someone considering opening or relocating a business to your municipality?
The best piece of advice I have is to talk to other business owners in the area where you are considering opening up. So whether that's Cargill or Chepstow or Elmwood or Walkerton, you need to walk the street. You need to spend some time in those businesses. You need to talk to some of those business owners. A lot of them are well established. They've been open several years. They've withstood that, treacherous first year. They've made it past the 5 years. Like there are lessons to be learned from those, minds. And so do your research, spend the time, make sure the business idea that you have in mind will be supported here, because your fellow entrepreneurs are going to be your biggest cheerleaders. So make friends with them and definitely listen to the advice that they have to share.
Right, absolutely.
But my advice would also be to work with fellow entrepreneurs. That's where I see the most opportunity to really showcase our whether it be our downtowns or our communities in general. I think the public responds a lot better to businesses that are really reaching out and showing their collaboration and providing these opportunities when they work together, to create a special event or activity that brings people together. So that we are all guilty sometimes of working in our silos and really concentrating on what we need to get done. But again, going back to community, when we work together, whether it be economic developers or business professionals, entrepreneurs, again, you're stronger when you work together and you can share resources and we can all build our community together.
Absolutely. What is one thing about your municipality right now that you wish more people knew?
I touched on it earlier, but we are hosting some big events this year, and I'd love to spread the word about those. So Brockton is going to have its own Rib Fest event, which is an event that does take place in other communities throughout the area. But we're going to have one right here in Walkerton in Centennial Park that's running the weekend of July 17th to 19th. So love to spread the word about that. Of course, Walkerton Homecoming 2026 is taking place on the August long weekend. So I would love for people to jump on their website and check out the events and activities. That volunteer committee has been working hard, and this, 4 or 5 day event is going to be huge. The tagline for Brockton is "Come Home to Community," and it really hits home, at this time of year when it's been 10 years since our last homecoming, and so people who haven't spent a lot of time in Brockton who are coming back for it are going to see quite a lot of changes. So we're really excited about that. And then I would love for people to know about the Bruce County International Flying Match taking place September 22nd to 26th. Again, we're expecting tens of thousands of visitors for that event. So would love for people to look it up and to see what it has to offer. It's going to be a good one.
Good.
Yeah, I think too, just building on events, because, no matter what we do, we always hear, I didn't know about that, or I didn't know, we have no events, but I beg to differ, we do. So please, take the onus on yourselves a little bit to look into what is being offered, because there is a lot being offered. But in Hanover here too, we're also very proud to have the new Carriage House Event Center open. So if anyone's not familiar with that, that's at the Hanover Raceway. It's a new banquet hall facility. So now we're in the opportunity again that we can host large events here, and want to make sure that everybody is aware of that. And that's in our entertainment district, which also has the casino, which maybe people might not be aware of, that there is a casino here as well. But, and then checking out those smaller businesses, come to the downtown, really support those local entrepreneurs, because yes, we have big box stores and we have fast food chains that, many people value and come to shop. But there's many more businesses beyond that as well. So if we can showcase, we do have great retailers downtown. We have the Kitty Goblin game store. We have the Denim or His and Hers across the street for clothing. We have Becker's shoes. We have that new White House or White Dress boutique. There are a lot of great businesses, and Schultz's Donuts. A lot of people. I could go on, but I won't name them all. But I just really want to showcase that. Really look at what each community has. I know it's easy to look to what maybe we don't, but we have so many great things going for us all. So
yeah, I know exactly how you feel, because Saugeen Economic Development Corporation is celebrating its 40th year of existence this year, and I still have people say, I don't even know what you do or where you are. 40 years, I didn't even know you existed. So yeah, it's hard, right, to get it out to everybody. Two more questions. What excites you most about the future of your community?
Sure. Brockton, I feel, is really building on our strengths. We talked about our vibrant downtowns in our various communities. We have an engaged business community, which is so helpful when you work in economic development. We've got quality recreation facilities, and all of those work together to support what I think is a high quality of life. So I think that's definitely Brockton's strength.
Well, yeah, being most excited is, like I mentioned, this has been a planning year and a listening year. So now it's going to get exciting as we implement our downtown plan, as we implement initiatives to support, to make our business community stronger, and also as we grow our land. So this is a pivotal point, for our community, for Hanover, and it's just really exciting to see where we can go from here.
Wonderful. Just so our listeners know, can you just explain where our listeners can go to learn more about the supports and opportunities that each of your municipalities have? Whom should they talk to? Where can they go to get the answers that they need?
Well, so I've mentioned HIP, our Retention and Attractions campaign. So that's HIP Entrepreneur, Culture, Lifestyle, and Apprentice. So HIP Hanover, HIPP Hanover.ca. I would encourage people to go there. Business resources, there's a cultural map, there's different videos of our business community. So there's a lot of great resources there. We also have Hanover.ca, which is home to the community calendar that anyone can upload events onto, but it also has other municipal news and information. But then again, to looking to our regional partners, Grey County has the Business Enterprise Center. They have the Sydenham campus. We're working with Saugeen Connects for those other supports. So, again, just acting as a connector, land on our page first, and then we'll stream out from there on what else is available.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I agree. I invite people to contact me, and I will help connect them to the organizations, and the services that they're looking for. Anybody wanting information about Brockton can go to brockton.ca. We have a business tab on there that talks about, everything from our community improvement plan to our Easter's Business Park. We have a business directory. All the resources are there under one landing page.
Wonderful. Well, remember everyone, whether you're looking to start a business or relocate to Bruce County or Grey County, you have the Municipality of Brockton, you have the Town of Hanover, you have two wonderful economic development officers that will answer any of your questions and assist you with any of your development opportunities or opening a business, talking about relocating a business, whatever it may be. So check out these two ladies and their towns and their municipalities, and they'll be able to help you as much as they possibly can. And yeah, stay tuned for more. So thank you so much, April, for joining me, and thank you, Christine, for joining me.
Thank you for having
Christine
us.
from the Municipality of Brockton and April Marshall from the Town of Hanover. Thank you, and thanks for listening to The Local Edge, brought to you by Saugeen Economic Development Corporation, working in partnership for our community's future. Be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more stories of collaboration, resilience, and success across our local communities.